mean, that was a big attraction for me.
On my desk was, if you're willing to give others the credit, you'll conquer the world. Bam. And somehow this thing has turned me into something perceived that I don't like about it, because it is a we deal.
Sure looks happy.
Where did that come
the
from?
honeymoon, Shannon.
Yeah.
Are you buying this?
No. And that saying that's on Jerry's desk, if you give others the credit, we can conquer the world, he turned it face down. Because he don't see it when he walk in there.
Well, he did make the point. It was on his desk when he
Bought the team. Is it still there?
I don't think so.
Exactly.
Changed.
Because that's what's here.
Redecorated.
A guy that says a we, he doesn't have to constantly remind you the buck stops with me. Not we, me. He said, oh yeah, we sit around and we collaborate, you know, I run it by, but at the end of the day, the buck stops with me. It stops on my desk. That's not a we, that's a you. And the reason why it stopped being a we is that you didn't like the fact that there was somebody that won super. You fired a man after that's unheard of.
After back-to-back.
Back-to-back.
It will never, ever happen again. Book it.
And the oldest guy of the superstars of your team was 27, Michael Irvin. Troy Aikman was 26, Emmitt Smith was 25, and you fired the coach after back-to-back. That's not a we, Skip. That's a me. I need more of this pie. You're getting too much of it. So guess what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna get you, cause you eating too much of the pie. I'm gonna get you up out of here. And then ever since then, because I'm not saying that Jerry didn't talk, but we didn't see Jerry's face like this here.
Nope, we did not.
Skip, that sounds good. And Mike McCarthy is saying all that, and you know we're gonna. I think Aaron Rodgers said he's surprised that Mike didn't go somewhere where he had more general managers, had more powers.
Sure.
And normally what happens, Skip, is that when a guy gets fired, because normally first-year head coaches, they don't get a whole lot of power. Mike made that mistake when he went to the Raiders. Al Davis had all the powers. He fired him after 20 games. Mike made sure when he came back to Denver, he got everything. When Coach Belichick was in Cleveland, Art Modell ran the show. When he went to New England,
He got it all.
he got it all.
He did.
Pete Carroll has more powers now than he ever had at the Jets in New England. So they normally, the second time around, say, no, I'm not going out with that. No. I'm going to have more say in who we get, be it the draft, be it free agency, the final 53. I'm going to have more say. Now, it sounds good. Oh, we. Mike, do you really believe you're going to be some we? Because he's like, the structure was very similar. It's like, you know, and Jerry said Mike built a great team. Mike didn't build jack. Ted Thompson built that team. And that's why Ted Thompson got fired first. Because he's the one that built the team. See, I want to know, since Jerry built this team, when they go find the general manager at the Cowboys? Oh, my bad, Skip. He the owner.
Nope.
So you can't. So that's a we. Ain't no we, it's you, Jerry. So stop these shenanigans. You know good well it ain't we. It ain't gonna ever be we. And you know that.
And to your point, when Jerry Jones hired Bill Parcells, Parcells thought it was going to be all me decisions.
Exactly.
And he learned it was just the opposite. It's he decisions, right?
Till T.O. came on the scene.
T.O. came on, and then it was a he decision. Jerry said, I want a box office star that I can sell, because this is all about entertainment and box office, right?
Yes.
So this was what I referred to early in the show as my laugh out loud moment of the day. I just fell off my chair when he said, we're going to make we decisions. No, you're not. It sounded good.
It did. It really did.
And Mike was very well prepared for this.
Yeah.
He had really thought this through in the last 24 hours. Heck, he may have been prepping through the whole his season off, this last football season, for how would he handle a question like that.
Right.
And it was politically correct.
Yeah.
It sounded good. I think Jerry sort of bought into it. But deep down, Jerry can't stop himself. It's not a conscious decision.
Yeah.
Jerry has a gigantic runaway ego, and it just eats him alive, and he can't think straight because he needs the stage.
Right.
And again, Mike allowed him to sit there. Jerry spoke more than Mike did.
Yes.
We predicted that.
Yes.
Right? Okay. But then Jerry went to the second laugh out loud moment, which was actually, it kind of just made me sick at my stomach.
What do you think?
Was the one about the plaque on his desk. What? If you're willing to give others the credit, you'll conquer the world. And then he said, I don't know, this misperception has been created. There's no misperception. What are you talking about?
Yeah.
What are you talking about? That's just straight delusion, right?
Skip, he reminds us every time he speaks that it's Jerry's way. It ain't nobody else. It's the buck stops with me. I'm the final decision maker. And Skip, the thing what I like about Mike McCarthy, he practiced this. He said, I got to say it's a we decision, and I got to be deadpan because I know I'm killing my laughing inside. So I got to we going to make we decision.
That's when I wanted Stephen Jones to laugh out loud.
Yeah, exactly.
That would have worked.
That's when he should have been laughing, huh?
That was funny. Right? So I referred to this article earlier, and I got one more paragraph to hit you with out of the Bob McGinn article in The Athletic from the reporter who covered this team for 40 years in Milwaukee and Green Bay. He knows where the bodies are buried.
Right.
And his point was Ted Thompson performed poorly in his last 2 or 3 years as GM in Green Bay. Privately, Mike McCarthy complained about Thompson's inactivity when it came to adding players from outside the organization, as in free agents. He would not pay for free agents. He wanted to build through the draft.
Yep.
And that works until you start failing in the draft.
Correct.
And then you can't fix the holes that start to develop because you're waiting on a kid to grow up, and he doesn't grow up, and you get trouble. And so McGinn's sort of conclusion was that now McCarthy's joining the Cowboys, for whom Jerry Jones and his son Stephen can provide him with more resources than he has known before and a willingness to gamble on greatness in everything they do. I will give you that.
Yes.
McCarthy may try to swallow his pride on this because at least he's with a dominating GM who will pull out the stops.
Right.
He will plunge.
Right.
He'll try anything.
Right.
And I'm sure Jerry will listen to what Mike says.
Right.
You know, we sure could use a blah or a blah, right?
Correct.
And that if Jerry gets it in his head that it's his choice to go get that guy, he'll go get it.
Yes.
Okay, well, Ted Thompson wouldn't do that.
Right. And that was a skip. Because look at it this year. What did they do? They plunged in free agency. Zadarius Smith, Preston Smith, Amos.
It changed lives.
Yes.
It's the reason they're where they are right now.
And I'm not saying, Skip, there's no, and I'm sure McCarthy's looking at it like, dude, we got Aaron Rodgers. We can't stop anybody. The defense is the bottom feeders. We got a guy that's throwing for 300 yards, and we top 5, top 10 in offense, but we got a bottom 28 defense. That's not going to work. Go get us some help. Like, nope, we're going to develop. We're going to develop. And guess what? Mark Murphy says, you know what? It's your fault. You're the general manager. You're responsible for getting. So guess what? You're up out of here.
Okay. All right. Which brings us back to the current quarterback in Green Bay, Aaron Rodgers, who said 2 days ago that he was surprised that Mike McCarthy didn't go somewhere where he could have full control.
Right.
Well, I get that because I'm sure Aaron heard behind the scenes from Mike constant frustration with, I can't, my hands are tied. I need more control.
Right.
If we could do this, we could do that. Right.
And I like, Skip, I like knowing. And the thing is, like, if you played for Mike Shanahan when he was in Denver, it wasn't the coach wanted you and the general manager didn't. Hell, they're the same people.
Sure.
If you're in New England, you know you're there for one reason. Bill Belichick wants you there because he runs everything.
Yeah.
So there's no, well, I want you, he didn't. He wanted you, I didn't. No, there's none of that.
Okay.
So Mike McCarthy said, when I wanted free agents, I couldn't get anything. So I'm surprised also because, like I said, the second time around, Skip, you learn from your mistakes. You learn I didn't have nearly enough control to control my destiny. Because if I'm going to go down, I'm going to go down my way, not your way.
So would the new owner in Carolina have given Mike McCarthy total control? Maybe. I don't know. Would the Giants have given him a bunch of control? Maybe.
It seems like Mike Rule has a lot of control.
It does seem like
I don't know about Joe Judge, but what about the judge?
I don't know about
What about the judge? The judge ain't got no
Jury's
control.
still out.
Okay, and the Cleveland Browns are still in the market. Would they give this man total control, Mike McCarthy? They probably would have. I don't know. Maybe.
I mean, Jimmy Haslam is playing more people not the coach's team than he's paying people to coach his team.
Yikes.
That is true.
I mean,
So the bottom line for Mike McCarthy was he knows what the score is in Dallas, and he just said, I want to coach America's team, and it's worth it to me to sacrifice trying to deal with Jerry and letting him have the credit and the control for me to have that job.
But Skip, he might have could have gone anywhere else and said that, and people